time, so I'm going to go ahead and resume the meeting. But again, remember that these mics are how they are hearing you guys. So they're hot. If you're gonna be far away from that, then you need to speak loudly.
And Mayor, you're coming through loud and clear right now.
I don't have that problem.
By Jeremy.
Thank you, Morgan. Well, since Tara isn't here, I guess I'll call us to order at 5:30. Quick roll call. Everyone's here except for Myrna and Marcy.
Myrna's here.
Myrna's there.
Oh, sorry.
Tara?
Marcy died, right?
Yeah, Marcy
Who did
and
I-
Tara. Is Tara coming?
No.
Oh,
Well, she's delayed.
all right. So yeah, Marcy and Tara.
Who did I miss? Did I say Myrna?
You said Myrna.
Oh, sorry. I meant
Sorry, Myrna.
Marcy.
Okay, I've been called a lot worse.
Just don't call late for dinner, right?
That's right.
And then next up is approval of the June 16th minutes. I sent out all the minutes that,
You did a dump.
Yes, thank you.
yeah, so,
Guess I haven't looked at my email since this morning.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi.
Actually, yesterday.
Maybe about a few minutes late. Okay.
so if you're comfortable, we can go ahead and approve all of the minutes sent.
I move to approve June, May, and April minutes.
Okay,
I second.
great. Do we have a roll call, I guess? Does everybody approve? Any
Thanks for
objections?
the question. No
Hmm.
objections.
Okay. Well, let's consider those April, May, June approved. Next up is the fun stuff. So update from KSU.
All right, thank you. We have
I
a
think-
couple of graduate students on the call today who are working on this project. So I thought it would be good to start off with a round of introductions so that they can introduce themselves to you all and they know who they're talking to. So Muhai, why don't you start?
Hi everyone, I'm Muhai Minul Islam. I am studying Masters in Landscape Architecture at K-State. Besides, I am doing internship with KSU TAB this summer. And also I am working on green roof research as my research thesis. So yeah, that's all. I'm from Bangladesh and enjoying United States.
And Selma?
Hi everyone, I'm Salma. I'm from Morocco and I'm doing a master's degree in regional and community planning. I'm also working this summer with TAB KSU and I'm working for my thesis on sport infrastructures related to urban mobility. So yeah, nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, guys. And Red Lodge folks, do you want to introduce yourselves quickly for their benefit?
We can go around the
Sure.
table.
I'm Perry Roberts.
I'm Jeremy Battle.
You can't see me because I'm not facing the camera.
Jeff DiBenedetto.
Marcy died. Remember this is my arm.
Joanne
Oh,
Eater.
there's her fingers. Yep. Mitch Cross.
Dave
And I'm-
Westwood, Mayor in Texas.
And I'm Myrna Lestuski. I'm with Beartooth RC&D.
Okay, thanks everybody. Do have some slides that we wanted to share. This first one, just the intro slide, but I think it's worth noting that I was only able to take this photo because someone was generous enough to take me up in his airplane. Thanks, Dave.
Wow.
Oh.
Nice area.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of the wing in the lower left corner. Okay, so
It stopped sharing.
what's that?
It stopped sharing. I don't know if that was intentional or
Oh,
if you.
that was not intentional. Hold on. Sometimes when you go full screen, it stops sharing. How about now? Can you see it now?
No,
No.
All right, let me try this. How about now?
It looks like it's
There you
coming.
go.
There it is.
Okay. Okay. So I've got an agenda for our update with you tonight. Shouldn't take, I'm hoping, no more than a half hour to go through this. And really the agenda starts with Kate and Maggie, and they are currently in a vehicle driving to Riverton, Wyoming to lead a brownfield workshop there. And I saw that they were on the call, but I don't know how good their signal is. I don't know if they're still on. Are you guys there?
We are still on. Can you hear us?
Yep.
Okay. Hi. We're doing okay for now, but if we cut out or you lose us, that's why.
Okay. Did you guys want to give your update on the community engagement report, the survey, and the brownfield inventory?
Yes. So we're working on the community engagement report and anticipate having a draft for review to you guys the week of July 28th, which will allow us to get the results of the survey that is currently still active. Yeah, that's set to close on July 28th. I talked to Leslie Vanelli, our evaluation guru, on Friday, and as of Friday, we had 106 responses to that survey. So it sounds like about 70% of those were substantially complete. So if you guys keep pushing the survey and promoting it, I'm sure we'll have much more input by the end of the next 2 weeks. I think the brownfield inventory is pretty much wrapped up. We're going to be doing a little bit of narrative work on that. And then, yeah. Yep, I have all the sites in our online inventory tool, the brownfield inventory tool. And I need to, add some photos, some of the information Blake's going to share with you all today. And as we wrap up community engagement, things like that, we can add information to those sites. And then I will, once the program is kind of final, then you guys can all have access to it. What that will do is allow you to update any site information throughout the process going forward. You can also map sites, and I can do a quick tutorial on that also when next time we meet.
Okay, great. Any questions for Kate or Maggie?
no.
Okay. Thanks, Kate and Maggie. Drive safe. Okay, so the next kind of the bulk of the meeting tonight is an update from me, and I put Muhammad and Salma's name on there as well because they've done a lot of the work on this phase of the report. And what you're going to see from us today is partly due diligence, mapping, and analysis, just to make sure that we really understand the conditions that are present, and then also want to make sure that we have your approval to proceed with the next steps. So the first map, so this is going to be a series of maps, and these maps are formatted to fit straight into the report. So you'll get these later. They're a little rough today. They're still in a draft form, but they'll get cleaned up a little bit more, and you'll have a copy of them later. And I can provide you a copy today or tomorrow if you want. I would just put a watermark on them saying they're draft. Okay, so the first question that we have for you is we wanted to establish a focus area boundary because the entire URD is 160 acres, as you know, but a lot of that area isn't really being considered for brownfield reuse. So we wanted to have a focus area that we would be talking about as part of our project. And so the orange outline you'll recognize as the north entry north entry URD, and we're proposing the green boundary as our focus area for the work that TAB and K-State is doing. Are you guys comfortable with that?
That makes sense.
I think it makes sense, yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, great. Well, you're going to see a similar outline to this throughout the rest of the maps. There's a little bit of inconsistency in those that we're going to clean up over the next few days, just because I made some adjustments after setting Muhammadal and Salma loose on the maps. So we'll pick that up. So if you notice it looking a little different, it'll be corrected. Okay, so the first due diligence map that we wanted to really take a look at is to look at the FEMA flood risk map. So what you see here is the creek and Rock Creek and its FEMA floodway. So there's the 1% annual flood chance and the 0.2% annual flood chance zone, and only the very corner of the focus area, which is part of the Beartooth Electrical Co-op, is in the flood area. The rest of the study area is not. And so you can see that both in the map and in the bird's eye aerial photo there.
Mhm.
So really nothing to worry about, but just from our own due diligence, we wanted to look at that. We also looked at the elevation, and this one was a little interesting to me. I wasn't expecting so much of the study area to be in the lowest topographic level. You can see that this is the 5540, that lightest color, and that's where the majority of the property is, the study area. And then it slopes up to the north and south, and then it slopes up steeply to the east and west. And here you can see a cross section of what that looks like. The URD study area is here. The Rock Creek is here. You can see there's a landform there that kind of protects the URD from a flood event. And then this cross section is cut right there. You can see the two arrows. If you have questions, please feel free to interject. Otherwise, I'll just keep on moving through these. We did an analysis of the impervious surface and gravel areas to get a sense for mainly the ecological value of the land surface. So rooftops, asphalt, concrete, and gravel were all considered in this analysis. So you can see over half of the site, the majority of the site is impervious, and that's shown over here on the map on the right. And so what that suggests is there is a lot of opportunity to increase the ecological value as well as the cultural value in this district. We also did a vegetation map, and what you can see here is around the perimeter of the study area, there is quite a bit of vegetation, but within the study area itself, it's pretty sporadic. And there are some areas, especially on the east side of Broadway, that are really lacking in vegetation. And so this really points to kind of an opportunity to increase the amount of shade, evapotranspiration, habitat, and fall colors, and all the wonderful things that trees do. We looked at streets and sidewalks just to analyze the street continuity and street connections, as well as the pedestrian connections. As you all know, one of the most important themes of the survey and the public meeting was connectivity. And so what you can see on this map are streets highlighted in orange and the sidewalks highlighted in the blue dash. And so you can see the areas where sidewalks are. And then on this map, you can see where the sidewalks aren't, which is a lot. And this is, again, nothing you don't already know, but getting it down into a map really helps to be able to have a conversation about it and think about priorities. We looked at trail and trail connectivity, stepping back and looking at the very big picture. There obviously is a lot of trail access right outside of Red Lodge, up in the mountains, but not so much within the study area. So you can see here our focus area. I got this map from Nick. He was able to provide this. There's really only one trail access to speak of. And if you all have other observations on this, we're completely open to all of these slides. So there's one access here to the Rock Creek trails. We looked at existing land use, and this was not documented in the planning documents that are currently on the books that we found anyway. So this was really an assessment that we did through our on-the-ground tour, as well as an analysis of the aerial photography. And so we use the standard APA land use here, using the best of our ability to assess them. And I think it's probably pretty close. But you can see a lot of commercial on Broadway, but it's kind of sporadic. Industrial really stands out. And then vacant lots really stand out as well as a predominant land use. Residential kind of around the perimeter. And then a few places of civic and institutional. There's the clinic here, the fire station to the south. Taking a deeper dive and more detailed dive into the study area, we looked at all the parcels and their ownership. And this is color coded, not using the APA standards, but rather just a color palette that represents different types of land uses, not in the APA standard, but how the owner is using the property, whether it's owned by a business, whether it's owned by an individual's name, whether it's a real estate company. Those are labeled differently in the state's parcel database. And then if it was city owned, we also called that out separately as well. So you can see this was very enlightening for me because it revealed that there's more complexity to the parcel layout and ownership than I had fully appreciated during our discussions and during the visit. This one is particularly interesting. Number 6.
Could you what color you're describing when you're talking about it, please?
I'm looking at number 6 there, to the northeast, the one with the long skinny wedge.
Right.
Okay.
That one's pretty interesting. Also parcel 16, which is city owned here, it kind of wraps around parcel 15, which is owned by Kroll Inc., the concrete batch location. So there are just some interesting, unusual kinds of parcel forms. So this has been a very interesting and revealing process of seeing exactly how the lot lines are laying out. And maybe it's maybe most of you already knew all of this and have seen this before, but this was very helpful looking at future land use and thinking about the priorities of which areas should be developed first. Any questions about this one before I move on? Okay, so here is us taking our first pass at the future land use. And that's not the future land use is on the left side and the existing land use is on the right. And I just provided that as a reference so you can kind of look back and forth of how land is currently being used and then what it could be in the URD. And so whoops, my fault. There we go. So the color coding there, that magenta color is mixed use, commercial and residential, which has kind of risen to the top through a lot of our discussions with you. The yellow is residential. And so what you can see here is we've added more residential onto what already exists, and keeping in mind that this magenta color also would have residential mixed in with it. The intent here is that the mixed use would have some kind of commercial or retail that isn't competing with the downtown, with residential mixed in, probably a higher density residential. And then the new residential that's more on the periphery would be a lower density, maybe row houses, or duplexes, or other kind of like a medium density type of housing. In this land use map, we also included the museum as a civic / institutional type of use, because that's transitioning before our very eyes from industrial into a cultural center. And also expanded the the fire department into the adjacent parcel. Not that that's a done deal or anything, but from a future land use planning standpoint, this is a way to start to establish that as a vision for the community. So I'll take a second on this one and pause, because I'm wondering if some of you might have some thoughts on this. Does it seem like it's aligned with our conversations?
Well, I'll just speak for me, like this is Perry, and so on your future land use, to our right of 212, which I think, I'm assuming is the black line with the arrow on top of it. The land to the right of that, that's magenta right now, that's only 125 feet wide strip of land, which is, with setback requirements, et cetera, I'm not sure, how feasible that is for anything other than trail use, or something along those lines. I just don't know what we could possibly build in there.
Well, that's a good question. It's a good point. I think one thing to consider is that those properties actually go much further to the east. They're just in the county. They're outside of the city limits. And so the URD draws the line here. So I don't know if that is a possibility, that those developments could actually, it's they're contiguous parcels, but the city boundary cuts through the parcel.
Right, yeah. So I understand what you're saying. So yeah, if there was a possible acquisition of the land beyond the boundary to the east, then that would certainly be feasible, so.
Yeah, and also yes. So that, I think that's a great point and a really good question. There could possibly be some residential uses that could happen there. I mean, again, I'm thinking of these two pieces on the both west and east of Broadway being kind of like the entry moment. So that's like mixed use with an emphasis on arrival.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we haven't really gotten into the point of digging too deeply into what exactly building footprints or even specific uses would be. But maybe that's worth revisiting. Maybe that's just not tenable, because if the goal is to stay within the city boundaries. But great question, Perry.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice one thing that doesn't change between the two maps is the Beartooth Electrical Co-op. It's still industrial land use.
Sure.
It seemed like from our conversations there isn't a strong desire to change that property at all, so we just left it alone.
Can you maybe pop back to the previous parcel map for a second? Okay. I was just looking at that kind of long north-south strip on the southeast side there. I'm guessing that goes along kind of between the lumberyard and the little baseball field.
Right. Yeah, there's currently a little aspen grove in that area and some kind of unused open space. It's the property of the city. It's part of the park.
Right.
But that would kind of flow from there, you know, there's residential currently just south of there.
Yep.
So that would kind of just extend that a bit. That seems really logical. I like it.
And then that property also, those residential units would be facing onto the mixed use units across the street, which on the east side of that magenta area could be more heavily on the residential side. So you can imagine a street here that has predominantly residential on both sides.
Yeah.
Probably higher density on the west side.
Mhm. Good question.
So that strip you were calling out earlier, Perry, that's actually the stuff, that's not city land, that's the portion of their land that's in city limits, is what that purpose
Yeah,
is.
it's actually, Jerusi and, Chimahuchi, the Alpine or whatever that owns that, closer to there too.
Yeah, Karen Jerusi, Alpine Basin, and George Thomas own those properties
Yeah.
to the northeast.
Well, and this is just our focus area too, so
Yeah, that's true.
the district extends beyond that.
Mhm.
Okay, I have one more. If you're comfortable with this, then we'll proceed with it. And like I said, I can give you the draft of all of these if you all want to have a little bit more time to look at them and think about them. Don't feel like you have to make a decision right this second. But the next map.
Like, keep nodding head, so
Yeah.
if you'll send that to us, we'll make sure it gets distributed.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, will do. So here's the final map. It still has the list of property owners, and you can see I just did an overlay onto that parcel ownership map. But what I've done, and this has been a group-wide effort from our team, is identify areas that are priorities for redevelopment and then other areas that are high potential for redevelopment. And we base that on input from all of you, first of all. And it really focused on city-owned properties, so they would fall into the priority group because the city has the most ability to move forward with those. Abandoned, vacant, or unused land. Industrial land uses that are incongruent with your all's vision of what the URD could become. So that includes the concrete batch plant, the salvage yard adjacent, the LP, the liquid propane distribution area, and then the city-owned property along the east, as well as the abandoned residential properties, number 36 and number 37 to the southwest, and the Quonset hut, the so-called Quonset hut building that's a storage being treated like a storage unit right now, number 44.
Yeah.
And so based on our own analysis as well as your direction, those seem to be the areas where we could imagine bringing parcels together and creating enough of enough momentum to create a starting point. Beyond those two in green, there were 4 in blue that we identified, and these were mainly parcels that had less infrastructure on them already, so they would be less expensive to develop. Some of them have, like one of them has a residence on it. Some of them are just empty, vacant land. And so there's, a variety of different conditions, but they lent themselves better to redevelopment than some of the others that were more established. Like the medical clinic, like number 13 there, that's not that's not well suited for redevelopment because it's a highly functioning business that's important to the community.
Sure.
And so this is, I feel like this is probably the most important map, this and the future land use map. to get feedback from you all, because the next phase that we will go through is we'll choose a couple or three of these, not just parcels, but areas, and start looking at redevelopment concepts. So what do you all think about these as the highest priority and then the high potential?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that
I
makes
think so,
sense.
yeah.
As a first glance, yeah, for sure.
We're all
Okay.
nodding yes.
Okay. Great. If we were to choose three of these, which three would you, well, two of them, the two in green would probably be automatic, but if there was a third, what do you think the third would be?
I'm not sure I would go with the third. I'd go with the two in green first because they're the most likely to afford some success. And if we go shopping around for someplace else, I don't think that's more of a dead end.
Okay. But one thing is the expansion of the fire, if that's, I can't tell exactly where that is.
That's
It's pink
That-
down in the corner.
lower left green rectangle,
Yeah, so I think that should be a target, yeah.
yeah, so that,
I mean, if I were to choose a third, it
Next
would
one
probably
up.
be the one, well, I was gonna say across the street there, like the southwest blue.
yeah,
Okay, 19 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that would make the most sense to us as well. That, because if with that you can start to form a vision of what Broadway
Yeah.
Street would feel like with redevelopment on both sides, and it would
Yeah,
could
just
give
a
a snapshot of the, how it could develop over time.
mhm.
Yep.
That's the property that's just south of the clinic,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it is Fred Brewers, and then 20 is Heritage Operating LP.
Clinic and the golf course?
No, no, not, you're thinking Beartooth, we're talking about St. Vincent,
Oh, right, thanks,
I'm sorry, Intermountains.
right.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I go to the aerial photo, let's see if I can get my bearings here. This is the clinic.
Yeah. Yep.
This is the auto parts or the Napa store repair shop. And then so this area here, just basically the two properties between that and the Alpine Inn. So they're clearly privately owned. They're being used for, it looks like agricultural storage, equipment storage, and there's a single family residence on there too.
Mhm. The mini storage.
The one that's boarded up?
No,
No.
you're talking about Dwayne's house
Oh, okay,
next to Alpine,
right.
to the north of Alpine.
Yeah, so again, no need to decide right now. I would say if you want to take a few days and talk about it and think about it, then we can proceed from there. So that's really what we had for you today, just giving you the update on the analysis that we've been doing, as well as our ideas for moving to the next step.
Thanks.
Looks good.
I have a question.
Yes,
So
Joanne.
what came out of your brownfields analysis of some of those sites? Is
Yeah,
there anything that needs cleanup or mitigation?
I'll defer to Maggie on that one. She was the one who was on that question. She was the one who was doing the brownfields inventory.
Yeah, I mean, the brownfields inventory won't go into a lot of depth about what needs to happen. I mean, all of the brownfield sites will be recommended. Start with phase one, which is non-invasive, and that's like the historical review, talking to current past owners to get a feel for what environmental hazards may or may not be present. You're really not going to know that though without doing a phase 2, and that's where a contractor would come in and do, take soil samples, take other environmental media samples, and then decide, okay, do we need to clean it up? We can make some assumptions on some of the properties just based on experience and what is likely there, but we won't know for sure until those assessments are done. But yeah, as part of the inventory and part of the prioritization of properties that Blake just talked through, we will highlight, okay, these properties should be assessed first so you can make those decisions about moving forward. And that's where like Myrna and Nan's group can help. And also, Montana DEQ to come in and do those environmental assessments for free.
It's Fred Brewer.
Oh, okay. For free. Sounds good.
Okay, great question, Joanne. Any other questions? Okay, should I email these maps or this presentation to Tara? Would that be the best way to get them to you guys?
Yep.
Yeah,
Great, that would be great.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have those kind of in our hands so we
Yeah,
can
for sure.
drill down a little more and give it a ponder.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's all we've got for you guys today. It was great seeing you from over your right shoulders.
Before we hang up, sorry. Is there an echo or am I speaking over somebody?
Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. So while we're on the phone, I would love to hear if there's been any updates in terms of property transactions, anything new going on within the city of Red Lodge, since it's now been about 6 weeks since we were there. Anything new in Red Lodge that we need to be aware of?
I am not aware of anything within your area.
Okay. Anything outside the area? How was 4th of July celebration?
Well, there was one up at the top of Brewery Hill that the city was moving forward on, where there was a privately owned postage stamp in the middle of a large parcel that the city owned, and council approved us to move forward with that. So we had talked about whether we were going to bring that into the URD or if it fit the definitions. And one of the concerns was if that opened up one of the reasons we were looking at it was that if that opened up additional mechanisms for us to utilize that specifically for housing projects. But I think the feeling of the URD board is they weren't sure that it met the definition as they went through and just started to describe the criteria about something being included in that. That's primarily an undeveloped field as opposed to a previously owned and turned into a catastrophe field. And so I think there was questions about whether that was appropriate or not to take that to council to include within the area. My recollection is that the decision was no, not yet. We are still pursuing it from a city standpoint, and we are moving forward on that. In fact, one of the things I did in the background during this meeting was the buy-sell agreement that's driving that. So cool. So
Great. I remember you guys talking about that, so.
I'm sorry?
I said, I remember you guys talking about that while we were there, so I'm glad to hear that has gone through. That makes a lot of sense.
Mayor, can I ask a question?
Another one?
Well, this is Myrna. It's my first one. I was wondering, you also had mentioned.
The first one. Go ahead, Myrna. I'm just giving you guys time.
when we were meeting with the city, some city officials, I believe you had mentioned that the state was reviewing whether they were going to, do something different with TIF districts. Have you heard any more on that?
Yes, I was gonna have a follow-up conversation with Jeremy. I need, Marcy to plug her ears for just a minute. So the question is, they were gonna be changing the dollar amount that we will get when that property is classified as new development and rolled into the city. And that, Jeremy actually had chased down some rough draft information from them, and it was like $100,000 this first year that it had cost us. But I think in looking at it, we make up for the difference. This is my current thought path, is we make up for the difference by virtue of the money that we're collecting from the other taxing entities. And therefore, holistically, it may still be a bad idea, but from a selfish city standpoint, I think we're still money ahead. So there was a question, and there's still a couple of, the gal I'm speaking with at the league, we got together and chatted last week on, and she was actually out on Friday, and we have not touched base yet. This week we've got a few things, but as we were looking at it, I realized that we weren't taking into account the money, how much of that money basically that's in there. So what we're losing is we're not getting all of the money from the school district, but we're still getting more of it than we would if it was just ours and we were getting 100% of it. So I think my gut right now says it's not financially stupid from a city standpoint to keep that going right now. I just need to confirm that.
Okay, great, thank you.
I can see Jeremy's brain turning over those new elements, because that's stuff that he and I we talked about it at a high level, but we failed to bring into account the other taxable districts into the conversation.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that would lead me to believe that TIF districts are not a good idea or are somehow crippled. So.
Thank you.
Okay. I think Joanne's question was like, what are the next steps? Like, what's our next check-in with you guys? What's next on the road?
Kate, are you still on the call? You want to field this one?
Yes. Yeah. So, so the next thing, well, I guess the thing you guys need to be focused on for the next couple of weeks is promoting the survey, and then reviewing Blake's draft, like an in-team's draft, with background maps, and providing any feedback on those. I anticipate having a draft of the community engagement plan to you for review on the week of July 28th. So assuming that you guys are meeting in August, kind of around this time of the month, that would give you all 2 weeks to review the document. If you want to, we can talk through it at the next check-in or the next monthly meeting, or you can send comments via email, and we could maybe even have it turned around by then. It's kind of just up to you guys as how quickly you want to go through comments on that report. And then I think once Blake and his team have gotten your feedback on the background documents and confirmed which areas we want to focus on for those redevelopment renderings, then they'll go ahead and get started on that work. And I'm kind of guessing, Blake, that's going to take until probably late August, but you are the boss of that.
Yeah, well, we would like to have the concepts, I would say, by early August, so that we can receive feedback and make any revisions that are required and be done by the we would like to be done by before the 25th. That's when classes start, and it's going to get very busy.
Okay, so it sounds like we may potentially even have renderings to review at the next monthly meeting.
Yeah, yeah. Depending how long it takes you all to review these drafts, the shorter the review time, the more time we have to start working on the concepts.
So I think that was Blake's very nice way of saying it would be very helpful if that feedback turnaround time could be expedited.
Yeah.
Message received, right?
Thanks, Myrna.
Yeah.
Translator.
And I will say this is not a problem we've had with you guys typically. No judgment there. Just sometimes it takes folks a long time to come to an agreement.
So we could probably get feedback, I mean, so we have our next meeting on the 11th of August. So could we get it to you on the 12th of August? Like, is that?
Or would earlier be probably preferable?
Earlier would be more preferable, yeah. In terms of approving the drafts we just sent in terms of the future land use concept and the priority parcels. Like, I don't know, would a week be enough time?
Could we meet on the 4th of August and talk about it then and just kind of assemble, do we need to meet or do we just?
I mean, we could definitely
And I want
give
to be clear,
feedback.
we don't need you guys. Yeah, this is just feedback on these two concepts that Blake has presented today. It's really a go or no go on those three sites that we just talked about.
Yeah.
The three kind of areas, those two green ones plus the one across the street on Broadway.
I think we could vote on that today.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to actually look at it closer
Yeah,
than on the screen.
yeah.
Well,
But I think having a go, no-go decision within the next, by the end of this week would be great. And then you're welcome to take a little bit longer to provide feedback on those, more specific feedback on those maps. But a no-go decision by the end of this week, I think, would be ideal, Blake, unless you feel differently.
so heads are nodding, we think we can do that. If you could just clearly state the question when you send the maps so that we all have yep, here's what we're shooting for. Don't you think that'd be great?
Okay,
Yeah,
yep.
and then we can get it on in a week.
So the three main study areas is really what you're kind of trying to hone in on.
Yep.
From our point of view, right?
That's the biggest thing. That and the future land use map, just in concept. I mean, the future land use map is not a regulatory binding document in any way. It's just a concept at this point. It's kind of like a vision.
Yeah.
Okay, I will make sure that is clear in the packet I sent you guys.
It's gonna be, I think.
It would be nice to get together.
Otherwise you're gonna get 4 or 5 different.
Right.
And it helps to make sure everybody is on the same page as far as understanding
Where it is.
right, yeah.
Yeah, we'll work together to get you something.
Okay, and
Coordinated.
I'll make sure it's clear in the documents too.
I guess the next question would be, when can we meet?
Yeah, we could maybe let them go and we can talk about that first.
Yeah, I think the next thing we would have to do is just decide when we can meet and discuss and get that to you. So I think you guys don't have to hang around for that.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I will get these documents to you tomorrow and wait to hear back from you.
Awesome.
All right.
Appreciate all the work
Thanks,
you guys did.
everyone.
Awesome.
Everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank
Thanks,
you, guys.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, bye.
So, any suggestion?
Is this a good time? 5:30, does this work for most people?
Generally, yeah, for me anyway.
I'd say either Thursday or Friday
What dates are you talking?
this week
This week?
Thursday or Friday, yeah.
at 5:30.
Thursday.
Yeah, that needs to be public. Remember, we need 48 hours to post it and announce it.
Well, if we're doing it right now.
Right.
Thursday or Friday, yeah, which.
I could do either.
Yeah, I could do either.
I can't do either, so.
Oh.
You can shoot me up, but I can,
You can email it.
I will email and.
Can we come to your store?
Exactly.
Well,
You can deal with all.
we can
the
meet downstairs in the store.
Right.
In the back room?
Yeah.
Check out the
As long as
shoes.
they're all buying shoes while you do it.
Exactly. I'll voice my opinion for sure beforehand, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll work. Okay. 5:30. So we're not gonna get the notice out until tomorrow morning, so.
So probably Friday's been the best
Thursday,
day.
Friday? 5:30 Friday?
Can do that.
Actually, tomorrow's Tuesday still, so.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Thursday would.
No, we haven't.
be-
Technically would work by the skin of our teeth, right? Because if,
40, as long as we had it out before 5:30 tomorrow, you'd be good.
okay.
Thursday would be better for me personally,
That's fine.
so I prefer that, but I could do Friday too.
Yeah,
Let's go
I'm not sure what I'm doing on Thursday, so on Friday, so Thursday would be better for me too.
Let's do Thursday then.
And it's not the weekend yet.
It's not the
Right.
weekend,
And the
but the motorcycles will be here.
motorcycles are coming, so
Oh, yeah.
Thursday's probably better.
Don't wanna miss that.
Yeah.
Okay, Thursday, 5:30?
It might be a little loud right here on 5:30 Friday.
Well, do what we can, I guess.
That'd be great, huh? That'd be exciting.
I agree. It's like all of a sudden, there's something we can actually do.
I know, and
Yeah.
really gonna start working on it.
Yeah.
You know, we've been waiting and waiting.
I know.
And wait, it's really clear the value that they're bringing, they're just like
Yeah.
spitting back to us what
Yeah.
we said, and then also taking their expertise, their knowledge, and just like, yeah, cool stuff.
Okay.
I did see one error on one of the early maps when he was talking about trail connectivity.
Mm.
That should have been down south of Beartooth Electric, because that's where that corridor goes.
Right.
Mm.
Goes straight back to the creek,
Right.
and they had it up.
Right, and
To
then
the
there's
north.
the one that's coming, you know, down Brewery Hill, so that's
Yeah, that's
another
that too,
connective
yeah.
trail, so that's imminent, I hope.
And there's the Fifth Street connection too,
Right.
into the trail. That wasn't on there.
Oh, yeah, that is, yeah, behind the
Mhm.
football
Mhm.
field. Huh.
Did you have anything else, Tara, to
No,
add other than we'll check back in Thursday?
yeah, I'll send
Treat it out of
Jen
that.
out in the morning. No, well, the football field and area still is in.
Ah,
Okay. It's just not in the study
Yeah,
area.
we took that out of the study.
Yeah, it's not in the study area, but it's in the URD.
yeah. And that's a nice entrance.
It is, except for when the moose are there.
It's very
It is a good hangout for me.
Yeah, they like to hang out there.
All right, well, if that's it, I think we can adjourn.
Did you go through the written correspondence and other stuff in there? You
Oh,
just-
how about the March?
Did we
you
have-
want to approve the March minutes? You sent it to March.
It's not on the agenda, so we can't, but I can put it on the agenda for Thursday.
Okay.
I would like to get caught up with our
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
Well, no, we already
Dragging these
approved-
along.
Yeah, we already approved April, May, and June.
Okay.
Do we-
So.
I don't know if that's allowed. or
Jeremy
not.
Do we have any
said
old
it's March,
business?
and I
You
didn't
can
want
redo
that
it on
to
Thursday just to cover your bases if
We
you want.
can.
There's no
Okay.
treasurer's report.
So my question is, there is and I don't know if we can do this tonight or if you want to put on the agenda, for Thursday. As I look at the members, including a couple we just appointed, one of the pieces of legislation they passed for tests is that we must have a representative of every entity whose taxes we have on the board.
What?
Really?
So, yeah, and we have till like the end of October to do that.
Well, let's wait.
So, well, hold on. So we have 5 to 7 people, which we now have our 7, although that's counting our planning board.
Do they have to be voting members?
I believe that they do. So I have a letter, so it's really easy to get our school board represented, because I think, that was the understanding when Marcy was on, and all we have to do is get them to say, yep, that's our representative. Is there anybody on here who feels like they were a county representative, or object if I shoot the list over to the commissioners and say, hey, do you feel comfortable picking a name here? Because the alternative, and they don't necessarily have to live in the county, it just has to be the county says, yes, our interest is represented, because otherwise, we may end up having to change our minutes, figure out how it is we get to how do we be within our numbers and meet our requirements, so.
How granular does that get, though? Are we gonna have, like, there's a lot of jurisdictions in there.
Taxing jurisdictions?
Yeah. Like, there's the schools, there's the,
there's
is there a
fire-
cemetery district, the fire
Fire
department?
department,
like-
yeah.
I don't think we're taking any money from, well, actually, yeah, I don't know, that's what we.
I think we're,
I was just looking to see if I had a picture of the specific legislation, and I don't.
because we're gonna need like 13 people on this
There's a
board, I
fire
think.
department and there's some bill levies on these.
I don't know.
That's inconceivable, because the legislature never passes something they haven't thought through.
I've never heard of such a thing, I don't know.
That's just crazy talk.
Yeah, I'm curious about that one.
I'll get you an answer. Anyway, so nobody's raising their hand thinking, yes, we're the county. At the
Well,
time, my thought was,
We actually moved outside of the city limits.
it doesn't matter if you live within or without.
Where-
It's just that the commissioners say, yep, she's
I'll be
supporting our
county,
view.
I'll be the county person.
We might have to go to the commission.
Yeah, the commissioners get to pick that, not you, but I'm hoping we can go that route.
Yeah.
Sure.
I also live outside the city.
So do I. So,
Yeah.
I have days I can do double duty.
Maybe, I
No,
don't know.
I don't know why not. Yeah,
If we, to get to Jeremy's, we may have to do that.
exactly.
That was all I had, thank you.
Yeah. Well, gee, thanks for that.
Just ways to make our
Do
community.
you remember which bill or whatever that
No,
was?
that's what I was looking to see if I had it, and I didn't get that. I can chase it down. I'm sure if you look for representation, that would probably be a good keyword within it, but I'll have it by tomorrow, I just don't have it.
Maybe two.
Potentially a hassle.
All right.
Well, in the meantime, we'll meet on Thursday.
Maybe we don't put that on, I don't want anybody to look at a special meeting and then there's something that looks important, then people get suspicious, like.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm fine with that, and I'll reach out to the commissioner, I've already reached out to commissioners. Here's who we've got, is there anybody you're good with, or do you wanna find
Right.
somebody else?
Sounds good. Sounds great. So I'll have the agenda out in the morning and it'll just say, review the maps from the Q tab. And then, I mean, do you want to put the minutes on? We could do that, but it's not urgent. I almost want to just wait.
You get to make the agenda, you do what you
Yeah.
want.
I say let's put it on the August agenda.
Put it on
I don't want to
August.
raise any little suspicion.
Right.
Like, you know, like you just, there's
Yeah.
no
Put it on
reason
August.
to rush it. Yeah. Okay.
Well, the public never jumps to conclusions or reads between the lines or tries to find meaning.
There's no urgency on approving the March minutes at this point.
There's only a downside if somebody thinks that
Yeah.
kind of sneak, because I feel like, you know,
We're sneaky.
yeah, we don't want to ever get into that. So I'll just
We're
need
not.
the agenda to review the maps. Okay,
Okay.
for Thursday at 5:30. Great,
That's the most pressing thing, and I think we should focus on it, so.
absolutely. Yeah. Awesome.
And then if you get any pushback or delay in getting that out, call me and I'll go oil parts or whatever.
Okay, sounds good.
You should ask if anybody has any.
Do we have any other comments from the public, any written stuff, anything?
Brent, anything? He's muted.
Sorry, I was trying to take my mute off. No, I mean, I guess I'll only say a couple things. Can you all hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
So I'm the city's representative to the Beartooth RC&D board and also on their brownfields committee. So as it goes into brownfields, there could be funding to look at the phase twos if we need to. And so anyways, I work with Myrna on all that. But I'm also at home cooking dinner for my kids, so sorry I couldn't make it.
We'll be over.
Vernon's giving us a thumbs up, so. No, you is it?
Pardon?
You're not on.
That date is me.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see it on my screen easier than I could see it up there.
Oh, okay.
If there's no other correspondence, I think we can adjourn. So let's do that, 6:30.
All right. See y'all Thursday.